There are two different blind stitches built into the Pfaff Quilt Ambition 630 sewing machine. I'm going to show you how to find the stitch, fold the fabric correctly, and then which foot are we going to be using to make this the most accurate blind hem you've ever done. So if you've done it by hand, you're going to notice this is a very time efficient way of using your machine. You'll have it done in the 10th of a time. So it's stitch number 16 or 17. So when we go to stitch 16, that's the standard one. So it has this cute little bite that jumps over, and we're going to fold the fabric so that stitch right here in the zig is going to catch it at, the smallest amount of size. It recommends foot number 3, which is our foot. We've been using a couple different places, but it has the adjustable guide. So I'm going to show you how you adjust this based on the weight of fabric that you are blind hemming. Now you also have stitch number 17. You notice it's got some extra little zigzags in there. That would be if you are doing a blind hem on a stretch fabric. Then it'll have some extra give as it is kind of stretched open. So back to 16, it shows you the IDT is engaged and the tension's actually reduced. Now I always forget that, but this machine, because of the automatic tension settings that get me into the right ballpark, you'll find that you don't forget things like that. So that is a nice feature here. The reduction of the tension is going to make it so when we open up our finished hem, it will lay a little bit flatter. It's like giving your stitches a little bit of a hinge as it flips open. So speaking of fabric, let's do our fabric first and then we'll put our foot on. So go ahead and press in your new hem. So this would be the final hem that you are going for. And then your fabric actually gets folded back and away from that raw edge. So this would be a good place to use an overlock stitch. You could pink it like my fabric is. That would also assist with it not coming unraveled. But this is the fold that we're going to bite into. So we're going to set it so it bites into just the smallest amount. Now speaking of biting into that, by the way, if you use a very thin thread and a small needle, you're going to get even smaller hole and less showing on the front side. So just FYI, that's the best way to do it. But because we're using foot 3 and it is completely adjustable, we have used it for some top stitching on a denim seam here before we flipped up the bottom edge. And we've also used it for some overlocking because there is a little pin in there that will assist with keeping your edge of the fabric flat when stitching over just a single flimsy edge, which is great. So this little marker, who knows where it is from the last time you used it? And I need to show you how you set it up for a blind hem. So the first thing you notice is this stitch is going to start on the right side. That's where the needle's hanging over right now, which actually does us no good. So go ahead and plan to take a stitch, and I do this by hand. I know a lot of you have already heard I don't touch my hand wheel, but this is the time I usually do. I'm going to just go ahead and sink the needle down, take that stitch, because what I'm looking for is that. I need the needle to swing over to the left side. So I'm going to just bring it down close to the fold of the fabric, and at this point I'm going to take and lift up my presser foot, and again, I'm not worried about that little red marker just yet, but I'm moving the fabric to my needle. As soon as I see my needle is just barely hovering above the fold, like if I lower it, it's going to take a small little dip into the fold of the fabric, then I'm going to stop. You can just put the needle in the fabric, that works, because I actually do lift the presser foot up so this screw is a little bit more accessible. I'm going to move now the red marker close enough to the fold of the fabric so then I have the right guide. So I'm going to slide that over a little bit. See how now it's hugging the fold? So then when I sew, all I need to do is really just keep this fold nicely snugged up against that little marker, and then I'm going to get a nice little even bite into the fold of the fabric. So this is what it looks like from this side, and then as I open it, Now I could definitely get a smaller bite. I wasn't as close as I thought I was, but I could definitely find it. But do you notice this is actually something good? I'm kind of glad it came out a little bit wider, because what I can show is that it is consistent in size because of where that marker was and how I was able to guide it. So all I needed to do, and I will confess the camera is a little bit in my way, so being able to see so close, but that would allow me to get a much, much smaller bite. And honestly, if I had done this and I had the cream colored thread on it, oh my gosh, I'd so be done. I'd be out of here, because I could it would blend in and nobody would see that those were slightly bigger stitches than I was expecting. But the goal is consistency. Whether it's big or small, if it's consistent, you did it right.